MakingStarWars.net.
Hello, Internet. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And today I'm just a little tiny blot of slime. And Rob's a little ghost. Little ghost kid. Little ghost kid. Yeah. So my son used my power supply to my Mac to charge his Oculus Quest over the weekend. And when I went to get on right now, or Meta Quest, whatever that gets called now. And when I went to get on, I saw, I only have 10% battery. So I would definitely lose if I have the camera plugged in. I will definitely lose power during the show. So, if
plug your thing in
I have
the wall
my computer's plugged into the wall, and I have a USB hub that has one thing for the power to go in and one thing for the camera. But the thing about it is every now and then it starts to slowly charge when plugged into the USB hub for some reason. It doesn't charge full speed. I don't know why. So is what it is. But this particular hub works good with the audio interface. So I try not to mess with things too much. But yeah. So how many times did you see The Flash over the weekend, Rob?
In my head, or
yeah, no, I mean, I feel bad for it because I could see like how all of these various factors contributed to its failure, to the visual effects, to the actor controversy, to it being the end of that line of that part of the franchise or that era, to Black Adam being a steaming pile of crap, and like all of these things I think kind of gang up on the movie, right? I mean,
nobody has the one answer. I think that's the thing. Like everyone goes, well,
that's what I'm saying. There's a bunch.
The studios, they don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know. At the end of the day, man, like I as a creative man, all you can, and I learned this like doing t-shirts because it was so fast. Like you could put all this effort into something that looked really fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And the buyer can be fucking super happy. Everyone's gonna be like, that's the shirt.
That's it, baby.
And then like the toilet paper that says "This is how I roll" is the one that fucking works. And you're like, well, was all my efforts for nothing? Like I'm one of like one artist in a crew of 13. Am I the guy who's gonna get cut because I spent 3 days on one shirt and this person knocked the thing? Like no, like there's no rhyme or reason that the shirt that you put all that effort in 10 years ago may have been the one, or 5 years from now might be the one. It's just at this particular time and place,
right,
it's 1-to-1. I would say this. I did complain about the CGI coming out of that movie, right? Said so in our review. And some people here gave me some pushback on that. And I'm like, look, if they believed in the CGI, if they were like, this is, because Muschietti and them came out and said, it's stylized, it was meant to be that way. If the studio really believed that, then them little CGI babies would have been in the promos.
Sure. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
they
hid the CGI falling babies and all. Think about all the footage we got nonstop from that movie for like 4 months. They hid them babies. You were still surprised, like holy shit.
and you're still not going to stop that from hitting TikTok at the end of the day. Yeah. So you either lean into it or you don't do it.
A field day with that shit.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, so like that movie has like a lot going against it, but I was also like, at the end of the day, I was going to see the movie no matter what because Michael Keaton's Batman, like that's my Batman, and I keep going like, man, if old fogies like us didn't turn well we did, but most of us of old fogies like us don't turn out for Batman. I don't know if they're going to turn out for Indy, because
I wish there was a correlation, but I don't believe there is. I think the big
issue to me those are both my real dads. I mean, I was I haven't seen him in a long time, and
the real problem is that a movie has to make 800 million versus 500 million to do.
Oh yeah, I call that a Disney problem at the end of the day. I think if that movie makes 600 million, 500 million, 600 million, it's actually a success as a film. They just they had unrealistic management of that movie when it needs to make 800 in the climate that we're in.
But same with Man of Steel when that came out 10 years ago. You know, that movie does between 500 $600 million, and the studio was like, it's not big enough, canceled. It's like, you guys are, you're not doing this right. You know, like, this is ridiculous. It's Superman. Like, we live in a world where you start with the 500 million. If people like it, you'll get to that fucking 800 to $1 billion the second time out. Same with Batman Begins. Batman Begins didn't do a fucking $1 billion. The Dark Knight did.
Right.
So it's like, you know, iteration makes a difference. I would also say, dude, like if I were able to go to one of those, remember when Martin Short used to do those like power lunch like skits where he was like a flamboyant agent?
Yeah,
like he was like an LA story. I
Glick.
I always
was it Glick? Like Glick or something like that?
Before Glick, when he was still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's super effeminate, but super fun. Like, I know 3 of those fucking type of agents. Like personally.
Yeah. Right.
He's so right. And so I always imagine going to lunch with those cats, and I would say, hey, if you wanted to do a Flash movie where you sort of have like a Bill and Ted's Adventure, you know, not a bad idea. The problem is 2 problems. One, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure never made $1 billion. Like, it was like the hit at the rental store. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean the movie. I saw the trailer for Bill and Ted and was really into it. Like, oh my God, I need to see this film. And then it just didn't come out for like 2 years. Like, it almost didn't. That movie almost didn't even get released. You know,
it was the rentals that saved it. But it's a good movie, though, right?
Yeah, I saw Bill and Ted opening night at Lakewood Center South. In case you don't know, Jaws opened up at Lakewood Center. Okay. And it premiered there. Like, it was like the big Long Beach theater Spielberg went to and stuff. It's like my home theater as well. And Lakewood, that's like a big, like, you know, it's a big auditorium, a huge theater. But then there was this little sub theater across the way where they just put the movies that nobody really wanted to see, and that's where that one opened up.
Deep Star 6. You know what I mean? Shit like Leviathan.
Yeah. I saw Shawshank there because nobody saw Shawshank when it came out either.
Video saved that fucking movie. So same with Bill and Ted's. And so I'd say, so you're up a little bit of a hit there, only that traditionally speaking, no Bill and Ted movie's been like breaking the box office, right? It's kind of a niche bit. And then 2,
it's too good for this world.
Bill and Ted's had 2 guys in it, not one guy pretending to be 2 dudes.
And they're both the best dudes ever, like in real life.
Yeah. You like it. Like, so you're up against a real problem. Like, Ezra's not the type of cat to be projecting. He just plays too weird and weirder. You know what I mean? Like, awkward.
He's like literally Crispin Glover millennial edition, and it's not like something that you want.
Right, he's closer to Crispin Glover than Bill or Ted. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like you who
wasn't Back to the Future, but wasn't Marty McFly. Just to be clear, for the talk.
He's not Marty McFly. He's Crispin Glover. You nailed it. It's perfect, Jason. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Like, I love Crispin Glover's what's missing from Back to the Future's 2 and 3, but you can't just do a 2 and 3 with Crispin Glover, and you can't just do it with Michael J. Fox. He needed honestly, man, he needed that Grant Gustin guy who played the Flash in the TV show to be the other Flash.
Yeah,
you know? That guy's the straight guy. I mean, you know, the serious cat, right? And this guy's the more...
It's. I mean, all that said though, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, the only thing I would change about the movie is the visual effects. Like outside of the visual, if it wasn't for the visual effects looking a little like they're basically television quality, I think it's a good movie. I think it's like it's a good
problem.
And let me explain. No, it is. Obviously it is. And I'm glad, because and how does this pertain to Star Wars podcast people? Well, it pertains to Star Wars because I've had a fear that this movie was going to come out, hit like $800 million, and it was going to send a message that we don't know the difference between these really like, you know, off the shelf quick effects versus like really like, you know, in depth, like several passes, high quality visual effects, and clearly we do. Right. That's the message that's being sent right now, I think.
Look, I mean, you can't if Avatar shipped with something that looked like this, people would have laughed me off the internet, right? I mean, they're trying every day, but you know what I mean. Like you can't do that in this day and age. Like people were clowning She-Hulk CGI, and that's a TV show. And no offense, like the Flash TV show has had pretty decent CGI the last couple seasons. You know, not so much.
Is my mic popping right now? Is my mic popping right now?
When you get done talking, like it adds a little, but it does that often, like during the show, like I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Let me. Yeah. I'm gonna turn on my. I got the. All right. Let's see.
Look, you know how the car mechanics, their cars never work. It's the same with musicians.
Yeah. I don't get why it's popping. Do I sound better now? Does that change anything?
Yeah, you sound better now.
All right, cool. Let's go with it then.
You sound way better now.
All right, cool.
What was I saying? God, you threw me off, folks.
Sorry.
Oh, the Flash TV show, especially the first few seasons, had pretty good CGI. They even had King Shark in that show. Yeah. And when he would run, he'd look like he was running. Like it looked really. In this movie, when he runs in slow motion. Like no offense, we saw that in 2 X-Men films, and it worked for one of them, and the other one no one cared. So it's like you're seeing things you're already seeing, and then you see him saving CGI babies that you just can't get over it. It's like remember the Mummy 2? The Mummy 2 wasn't a bad adventure film, Jason. When if you look at the movies coming out around that time, like Fast and the Furious and shit, the Mummy's fucking king amongst them.
Fast and the Furious one is really good. I just finally watched it. It's actually a good movie. I'm not
watched
even kidding.
2?
Yeah, I like it. I like them all.
I know you. Jason, you just want to watch the world burn. But what I'm trying to say is, but that Mummy 2, man, you get to that fucking rock scorpion dude come out, you just can't get past it.
No, the Scorpion King rock it's really bad. He looks like CGI chocolate or something. And
I sat in the theater, I'm like, it's the fucking, they brought it back. They brought the Mummy back. I don't know how you do it. They did it. The hierarchy of CGI powers changed in the DC universe, Jason.
I killed my son with laughter on the way home from The Flash. I was like, all right, son, I want you to think about the movie you just saw and remember how he runs. He's like, yeah. And I was like, now imagine it's Steven Seagal with the Steven Seagal run. And he was in tears because my son thinks Steven Seagal's. If you guys have never watched Steven Seagal run, look it up on YouTube. Look up Steven Seagal running, and you will laugh. Yeah. And I took
Ice Pirate or Space Pirate, whatever his name is. It's so good, dude.
I took him out to get lunch today before he went to his mom's, and like he just started laughing. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm thinking about Steven Seagal running like the Flash."
It's good. It's good.
But So anyways, I mean, if Indiana Jones comes out and has if they look at what was the real cost of Indiana Jones, or in terms of if they had just got everything right the first time or whatever with Indy. And what should the budget of that have been? And then that movie performs. I'm hoping it sends a message to the Star Wars people that the people in charge of Star Wars' money, anyhow, that visual effects do fucking matter, and that we do care.
Avatar's proof, dude. Avatar's proof. Like that's when I came back from Avatar 2, and I said I think Star Wars could learn a thing or two from James Cameron. And I know you're like, oh, Rob. I'm like, look, man, I'm not telling you make it just like this. But what I'm trying to say is you want to know when you say an event spectacle, when you went to go see a Star Wars movie, you were going to see visual effects at the very least you couldn't get anywhere else. You knew George and I were going to pull something out you'd never seen before.
Yes.
Where it was the pod race, or in my opinion, as much as I disliked Attack of the Clones, when those clone troopers like arrive and that giant orb is falling to the ground and like it blows up and they're in the sandstorm, and that shit is amazing.
Yeah,
that shit is fucking dope, dude. It looks
great. And digital Yoda is slightly taken for granted today, but about
was better than the puppet.
What that was.
But no, digital Yoda was way better than that puppet. Like that's not even
but that was a technical feat for ILM at the time.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Digital Yoda looked great for and then Revenge of the Sith, just in my opinion, the lighting on Coruscant completely It's still great. Like it still holds up.
Yeah.
So, but these superhero movies, they're not after like I feel like the Infinity War Endgame stuff gave them that big, here's us throwing everything we have down on the table and doing it on a budget after that. It's not working for folks, It's not working for folks.
No, and the reason why the prequels visual effects still holds up overall is because they were going for photorealism, and photorealism was something that was it was the agenda was to achieve photorealism. And when you look at the Flash, I will buy to some extent that it was stylistic because they clearly were not going for photorealism, but it wasn't palatable either at the same time.
It should have gone further away from photorealism and more cartoony. What they're trying, they did something halfway in between.
Yeah,
they're like, we can't do photorealism, so it's kind of stylized, but it's not enough. You have to go, like, there's that part where he goes like his face goes super like Looney Tunes stretchy.
Yeah,
it should almost have been way more cartoonier or way more realistic. Karate so you get hit from both sides, as Mr. Miyagi would say.
Yeah, so, it just confused everybody when you really get down to about why. I mean, I know that it was probably the best solution at the price point for the director, and he had to do it. That's really most likely just what happened, and it just is what it is. But
yeah, well, no one has the answer. There's no one answer.
Yeah,
that's the
right.
real story there.
So here's a couple.
You have the answer, you don't.
Yeah. So there was a rumor going around that the Rey film was going to have Idris Elba. Rumors of Idris Elba playing the villain in Star Wars New Jedi Order movie are reportedly not true.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
We did a whole fucking video where I was like, they don't even have a script.
Yeah. Towards the end of last week, a rumor that this is from BestmanBulletin.com that originated from Giant Freaking Robot and My Time to Shine Hello claimed that Idris Elba, star of films such as Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw and Thor Ragnarok, he doesn't put he needs to put I always say this, he needs to not put what they know. If you're just saying the movies they know, it's useless information. Like if they know who he is and they know the movies, you need to say the movies that they don't know. Or if you're going to do two, one they know, one they don't. Fast and the Furious, give them some Luther. Come on. But anyways, Idris Elba had been cast as the villain in the upcoming untitled Star Wars movie starring Daisy Ridley and directed by Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, Ms. Marvel. But today, reliable journalist and insider Jeff Snyder he's taken to denying those reports. And then you could support him on Patreon. Earlier this week, I read an article attempting to dispel the Elba rumor, laying out why the reports were very likely to be untrue, which you can read here. Today, Jeff Snyder took to his podcast, The Hot Mic, to deny those rumors, telling listeners and viewers that according to his sources, those rumors are not true, and also denied an outlandish report, once again coming from Giant Freaking Robot, which, guys, at this point, there's no Giant Freaking Robot authenticity to be found. And one thing that I think Giant Freaking Robot does is they go do the most obvious things. Like Kathleen Kennedy reportedly gonna produce a Star Wars movie. Then when it happens, they claim, "See, told you," but it's just fucking
Star Wars to feature a score that sounds like Star Wars.
Star Wars to have lightsabers in it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, that's not a guarantee though, Jason.
But it's like, yeah, and then they will also take other people's stuff sometimes and then be like, yeah, and then build on it and then act like, well, that one thing that was real was right, so that means our report was true. And I saw them going around posting, oh, here's our scorecard because you guys are calling us fake. It's a fraud. Sorry, it just is.
Yeah, they're right up there with "We Got This Covered."
It's all made. It's all made up. It's all made up.
Right.
It's all made up. It's an SEO game, and it's all made up. So anyways, that's been making its way around the internet that Alden Ehrenreich was set to return as Han Solo in the upcoming Mandoverse crossover event film being directed by Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm. We're looking to recast the role of Leia Organa. Snyder simply said, The Idris Elba villain story, and Alden Ehrenreich coming back, the recasting of Leia Organa, none of this stuff is true. Jeff Snyder said via the hot mic. So at this point, when we're talking about these two films in particular, in terms of tangible, verified things, it's really hard to have anything verified from these movies because they're not even being made yet. But Snyder's one of the only people who has like, oh, they're going to announce Dave Filoni's movie and blah, blah, so-and-so left the film and now it's this. And that stuff has been verified now. So if you were going to bet on a pony, you should bet on the Snyder pony on this one.
Let's give Jeff some credit. He just
I just did. I just gave him all the fucking credit in the world. Jesus, no, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Tell us how you really feel.
Sorry.
Sorry. He said it in specific to the announcements that were going to be made at Celebration, that they would at Celebration announce that Filoni was making the movie. Because anyone could say Filoni will make a movie if they sit back and wait long enough. Statistically,
we got this covered.
Speaking.
Yeah.
Right. But he was like, the 2 weeks before, or a week or two before Celebrations, that they're going to announce this at Celebration, along with James Mangold, along with the Lindelof movie at the time.
Yeah. Did he say the Mangold one? I don't remember that one.
He did.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Hey, good work, Snidey. Snidey senses. I'm happy.
Yeah, there he goes. Dog, I love it.
I'm happy that somebody of Snyder's credibility has stepped out to fight back against the rumors that sent social media alight last week, with some fans choosing to get lost in the excitement of the possible casting amongst other rumors, instead of researching the possibility of the stories being true. There's always been outlets and people peddling untrue rumors, and for some reason, fans eat it up without much thought or research. My goal at Bespin Bulletin has always been to cover reports from reliable outlets and people, including releasing my own reports, with my track record speaking for itself. If I don't cover a particular rumor or report on this website, it's because the outlet or person has a questionable track record, to say the least, or they simply don't have or they don't have a track record at all, or Bespin Bulletin, want to personally fight them in a battle.
Or they're a little bitch who harass their coworkers at Sears.
Oh, no. The next Star Wars movie is rumored to be led by Daisy Ridley as Rey Skywalker, with Stephen Knight, Peaky Blinders, penning the script, and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy in the director's chair. The film will focus on Rey building a new Jedi Order and is expected to be released on May 22nd, 2026. So yeah, the Idris rumor, for instance, is just one of those things that's like, oh, what do I do for likes on the internet? Oh, I just say Idris Elba. That's a black person, white people who follow superhero stuff. No, they'll like it. And then they eat it up. And now, don't get me wrong, I think he's a fine actor. He's a good actor, great actor even. And I would love to see him involved in Star Wars if it wasn't, a really dumb role. Like, I think his role in Thor is dumb. I think should be used way better than Marvel has used him. That said, it's just fucking.
Yeah, he should be fucking Magneto, not Heimdall.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah. He can do it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Get him totally... as Magneto and get fucking Giancarlo's Professor X.
Whoa.
That's right.
No, but they or you could even I'd swap those. I could see him. I could see it the other way too. I could see.
Yeah, but Giancarlo's always playing a bad guy. Give him a chance. He's
you know what? If it ain't broke, why fix it? How I say. But
yeah, that's what my ex-girlfriend wanted to know.
Yeah. I just saw. I didn't. Thank you for the super chat, Jordan. You can only have one Star Wars film made. What's it about? Mine would be Guillermo del Toro, Godfather style Jabba concept. Yeah, I mean that would be good. I mean, or interesting.
Only if it's stop motion.
I really love his Pinocchio movie though, and
like that.
That Pinocchio movie was so good, and one of my favorite movies last year, probably, surprisingly to me, because I like his movies, but I also just feel like he does cool stuff, but none of it ever really I don't really ever fall in love with the stuff. I'm never like, that's my, like, one of my fucking favorite movies of all time. Like, he's never done that really. That Pinocchio one, pretty fucking up there for me though, surprisingly. So yeah, when it comes to that kind of stuff,
up with Phil Tippett,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, I mean, like, or to make a Star Wars movie and really, really bring back a lot of stop motion and maybe even a stop motion.
If I can make any Star Wars movie, I'd have Matthew Berry play Dash Rendar. Like, I'd fuck all you people. I'm burning it
Dash.
Down. You know what I mean? Like,
oh man, who Dash fucking Rendar.
Yeah. I want him to play.
Oh,
like, he's a guy. Yeah. He'll fuck your robot girlfriend. That's
I get that one Nickelodeon kid who was John Connor's best friend in T2. I get his old old ass to come out. Yeah. I get him to Sam to come and play Dash Rendar as like a 45-year-old or 50-year-old.
No, Matt Berry. But he could be his villain. He could be his, his stepchild is redheaded. Yeah, I think we haven't made the offensive, what was that? State Troopers. We haven't made the American Pie of Star Wars films yet. So Lucas would appreciate that kind of shit.
But I always say I would dig something in the vein of Green Knight, with who's the guy who made Green Knight? He also made that really terrible Peter Pan movie for Disney Plus. And it's weird because I like that director a lot, but the stuff he specifically does for Disney, I don't like. And I keep wondering if he does, when he works for Star Wars, does he bring Green Knight or does he bring Pete's Dragon? Which guy do we get when he does it, when he does Star Wars, because it's so in between those two things and it's still Disney at the same time when you get down to it. But
if I had to do something serious, then I would just, let McQuarrie do whatever McQuarrie wanted to do. And I know he said I would never do it, but he would. He said the same thing about directing another Mission Impossible movie. Now he's
Christopher McQuarrie?
Yeah, I'd let McQuarrie. Well, one, yeah. Well, I mean, the other one's dead. The other McQuarrie.
Well, I'm making sure
you've ever heard of.
Yeah, but
I'd resurrect Ralph McQuarrie and let him direct.
Hey, I don't know. There might be fucking Nancy McQuarrie out there making movies for all I know. But yeah, I mean, he was on Rogue One. I mean, but the thing about it is, I thought about this, and I wish he would talk about it because, like I said, I pissed that guy off a long time ago. Yeah, because he was, at the time, I thought, the last writer on Rogue One, and the person at Lucasfilm who was being very cagey, but here's the information, said the last writer is the director of Rogue One now. So I'm like, oh, well, Christopher McQuarrie. But the thing about it is that means Gilroy comes in to clean up Christopher McQuarrie's stuff. And that means Gilroy was calling Christopher McQuarrie stuff a mess. And so I'm curious about what that was. Did Christopher McQuarrie at some point throw his hands up and go like, I can't do this, like with these prereqs or something, and then or did time just run out and he had to go on to a new project, and then Gilroy, I want to know what the real story is. Yeah, I want to know what the real story is. Mm-hmm.
He's alluded to this specifically. Right. God, what interview was it? The last one he did. He did an interview. Fuck, I gotta dig it up, dude. But
yeah,
he was saying that, like studios, like when he comes on board, like to help directors, like he was specifically talking about this. And he was like, look, there's a way of working around that. Some directors are up for it and they aren't, and when they aren't, the studio they double down on what the studio wants, kind of thing, it makes life worse.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, I'm there fucking to help the dude, but like to quote the Dangerous Days, the making of Blade Runner, when Ridley Scott wanted his way and Hampton Fancher was like, no, man, Ridley's producer said, hey, I know my mate. He's going to get his way, Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, McQuarrie wasn't trying to help Gilroy. I think McQuarrie was trying to help Gareth Edwards, right? Like,
he was Gareth. It was Gareth. There was a couple of other writers before too. So I think he was trying to fix that that
So I think
mess,
the
if you will.
solution internally to that problem was just
Yeah.
get someone who can write and direct. And
Mm-hmm.
Gilroy had already directed Born Legacy, so like
I yeah. Well,
McQuarrie at the time was still more of just a writer than you know what I mean.
well,
Like
the one thing that I believe I know from that actually is that Gilroy came on only as a writer.
Oh, okay.
And then there was the I could do it again Jack moment, from Boogie Nights, where they're like, we need. He's like, I could do it. I could do it.
I wish McQuarrie would. I mean, I imagine he'll talk about it because he's a talker, but he
Mm-hmm.
won't do it until whatever regime was in place is gone. He's
Right.
one of those type of dudes.
And it might be out of respect for the other 5 fucking writers, and you know what I mean, and
Right.
stuff like that. That he doesn't just come out and start going like, oh, it was a
For all we
real
know,
shit
fucking
show.
Bill Wisher was on that crew
So,
too. You know what I mean? Bill Wisher's
no Bill Wisher. No Bill Wisher.
Huh? Terminator 2, Bill Wisher? Come on, man. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
Wisher comes onto a lot of projects.
Yeah.
Like, good and bad, but
Yeah. I on that one, I believe I had all of the actual writers.
Oh, you meant like no on the
Rogue
project?
One.
I thought you meant no in general. Like you're just being like, oh,
No,
fuck
no,
that
no,
guy.
no.
What's
I'm
wrong with
saying,
Bill Wisher?
I'm saying, I think
Okay.
I know. I think I know what was up with that film. Is what I'm trying to say. I think I had all of the writers. There was like another guy whose name I can't remember at the moment, but that I put out too. But anyways, yeah. But I like Pistol Pete.
Maybe.
I'm gonna co-op Pistol Pete's idea. A Cobb Van series written directed by Taylor Sheridan. I'd fucking watch that shit. That shit would be fucking on.
But Taylor Sheridan would have to have complete creative control. The problem we have now is the studio's trying to find a way to George Lucas shit up. And no offense, but even Lucas had a hard time George Lucasing things up. Like, it's better to go with your instincts than it is to try to remanufacture someone's childhood, like on screen every time. So as long as Taylor Sheridan was able to do what Taylor Sheridan does, and there just happened to be spaceships in it, like it should work without the spaceships, is what I'm trying to say at the end of the day.
Yeah, though
that's
spaceships
where out, that shit should 100% work, and that's the problem right now. These shows or movies tend to be like, but we got to work in the Rancor. We got to, what I mean? Like,
he wouldn't have a problem.
At least a gorilla and 310 to Yuma, like that wouldn't work,
The thing about the Taylor Sheridan scripts, I would say, that is amazing is how he has the ability to cut right to the concept. There's no like he has no problem getting in there and then getting right to the idea. And like, even when he deals with like history, which can go both ways, good and bad, but he definitely gets right to it, and from the character's perspective. So if you're just doing a Western and then converting a Western into a Star Wars thing where, it's on this backwater planet, blah, 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 these things happen. And like for instance, if he had written Book of Boba Fett with the native stuff, with the Tusken stuff, probably would have been really fucking great. You know what I mean? Like that.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. I haven't seen the show, but
yeah,
I have heard people say they either love or don't love the Indiana Jones stuff, right?
It's perfect.
It's more like
it's
young
fucking perfect.
I trust your opinion.
I wish
it
was young Indiana Jones. It's not young. I mean, it's not like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is what I'm trying to say at all.
But does it have the adventure part?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder if he was I mean, look, I love Man's Gold, but we all know Man's Gold works better in drama than high adventure. Case in point, the Wolverine movie.
I'm not calling Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones right now is going up in quality right now after the fucking snobby fucking con stuff. So I'm not calling him calling it a mistake on that front yet. I think it's too early, and like it keeps getting really positive reviews that keep coming out every single day. They're showing it in Australia right now. Those reviews super fucking positive and stuff like that. It's the fucking mistake to show that shit at cons. But
if Taylor Sheridan had shown his movie at cons, I think they probably would have liked this one. Look, Hell or High Water, I stand by that movie. Had Hell or High Water come out in 1998 or 9, it would have been one of the highest remembered movies of the 90s. Like,
right.
You know,
but
saying?
I mean, the thing is that Indiana Jones is a fucking Big Mac. You know, at the end of the day, it's a Big Mac, and they don't like Big Macs over there, right? As it's true.
Hello.
How's it going, dude?
I thought I'd join in solidarity with no webcam.
Yeah. Today
I thought you meant that your movie got beat by Spider-Verse all week long and over the weekend. Like
what?
I didn't care about. I didn't care about animated spiders.
If you want more of it, you
robots.
better. It's got to make some money. It's right now, man, dude. It's looking to make less than Bumblebee if you do the math, right? So we'll see.
To be honest, I expected that. Bumblebee was just it did really well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of laugh when I see the what's it called, Schadenfreude going around the internet with like all of these clicks, because I'm like, all of these failures that you're seeing, these are all going to literally be destroying things that you love next year. The summer after next is going to be budgeted based off of what's happening right now, and so everybody who's like applauding failure, just remember that when you are asking why everything's so small in 2 years, you know.
The real problem isn't that these aren't making money. They're making the theaters are actually up in revenue total, right? The theaters are doing well. So
of course they are. They're coming out of a pandemic where nobody could go for 2 years. It's like,
it makes a difference. The problem is that traditionally and historically, these movies that would do all right at the theater would then go to a home video and be able to make their fucking money way back. So like Rise of the Beast, you know, fucking dumb name, but like that movie would have killed at Blockbuster Video, you know, 6-8. It would have been the number one for like 3 months. And so like that's a whole revenue stream that the industry just ceded to fucking Netflix,
right?
You know, and making their own streaming service hasn't filled that gap, hasn't filled the void, the financial void. Like it's cost them more money to set up those stupid streaming services than you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, they got to find a way in that,
like,
you know, the vinyl cats. What?
you liked out.
Oh, they have to find a way to get the way the vinyl people brought back vinyl. They have to find a way to own home video. They got to push for that. They got to push for people buying these things.
Well, Disney and all those cats are now going with a very, very long window before stuff hits the streaming apps. So
yeah, they should extend it from 120 days. Like, it went from like it used to be 11
it's really
weeks
long now.
to 8 weeks to 4 weeks. It needs to go to like 15, 16 weeks at the box office, to be honest with you. You know?
Yeah.
But that's up to theaters. Theaters have to commit to those screens, though, Jason. They can't just, not like they can just say, we're going to leave it here. Remember, Jason, you used to have the mall and then they had the dirt malls, right, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember this as it's true. But like they used to have these dirt malls, and the dirt malls would play the movies that came out like 8 months ago, 9 months ago, and you could see them cheap, but they made a lot of money that way, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was a consistent revenue.
Yeah, it's 4 months now. It's 4 months now. The movie finally goes up for streaming about 4 months after that, 90 days before Disney Plus. So no, it wasn't that before. Before it was like fucking like 4 weeks, 3 weeks or something. And so now they're making it if you want to see, you know, Indiana Jones, you need to go see it because it's not coming to Disney Plus in 3 weeks. It's just that those days are done. It's over. So,
yeah, it's like with Star Wars for me. I'm glad like The Rise of Skywalker came out like it was April, so not too long after, because even though I went and saw it 5 times, I was like, I need to see it again. Yeah. So I want like the best quality. I don't want just like loads of stupid low quality cam footage of Reylos crying. Like I want actual
with
good
ads
quality.
that move around the center of the screen all day. I love that. Right.
So I was like, and it was like just when lockdown happened, so that was pretty good timing. But like for any other film, unless it's Star Wars, I don't really care. Like,
yeah,
you know.
I want to interview the one guy who watches a bootleg movie and then goes to those online casinos and is like, wow, this is great. You know,
I watched the first Transformers film as a bootleg before it came out. I don't know
Jason.
how. I got it early, and that changed my life. I was like, wow, this is what I've been waiting for. It was so bad.
Jason, I think you and I could put together a 90-page script that sets that up as a horror movie for A24. It starts with the guy who goes to those, and it ends up like in a Safdie Brothers meets Jordan Peele.
And then the very last scene is he actually does the card counting. He wins $90,000. He can't cash it out, and then at the end they kill him. They just kill him instead of giving him the money. Yeah.
They kill him.
That's our M. Night twist to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as a true, do you have a dream director or duo or actor or something like that you want in Star Wars to kind of answer Jordan's question? He was kind enough to give me a super chat. Thank you, Jordan, again.
Honestly, I couldn't care less. Other than maybe Chris Nolan. And that's
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. The fake British guy?
Wait, he's a fake British guy now?
He's American, but they sent him off to boarding school, so his brother's got a Chicago accent and he's fake British.
Okay.
So,
well, that's kind of fair because Christian Bale's kind of a fake American guy, right?
No, he's Welsh.
Yeah, but
he's got he's got such a English accent, like it surprises every American every press tour he goes on.
Yeah, everyone was like, okay.
The best part when he was chewing out that lighting guy on the Terminator set is he stayed in accent the whole time.
Yeah.
He didn't break into Welsh. Like it's yeah.
It's called acting, baby.
So not Michael Bay, huh? That's true.
Well, he would be a close second, I'd say.
Close second, Michael. Okay.
If he gets a trilogy. Actually, no, 6 films.
You're not a real Transformers fan.
6 films. 6 films in a series, says that's true.
We'll see how you feel about that after Oppenheimer. We'll see.
I don't know. I think Oppenheimer looks good personally. I think it's going to be a good movie.
I should have got Idris Elba. I went and watched it the day it came out. I was so excited to go back to the cinema after like a year. So yeah,
because I'm not going to see
Elba and did Oppenheimdall.
No,
right? He makes the rainbow bomb.
We won't allow it, Rob. We won't allow it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I'm really looking forward to like Turtles, and I might see Turtles. I'm going to see Indy obviously and Turtles, and I might see Oppenheimer. I'm not seeing Mission Impossible because fucking Tom Cruise could fucking.
I don't care.
Yeah, fucking. Sorry, I'm a bitch, but I'm not a basic bitch. And on top of it,
you're an RO bitch.
But I might see Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, I might catch it. I want to, but I'm not seeing Barbie. I just don't care. It's not because it's a girl's doll toy. I don't care. I get it's satire or whatever. But I don't know if like Barbie.
If it had Gremlins in it, you'd see it.
Well, if it had Gremlins, I'd go see it. Like I went and saw fucking Flash for Batman. Of course.
See, you're a mark.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oh, and that Gremlins show on HBO, that shit sucks. I tried that shit.
Not good, huh?
Bored. Nah, it was not good. And people were like, "Oh, it was supposed to be a movie," And I'm just like, "Thank God it wasn't a movie because it's not a fucking entertaining show at all. It's pretty lame." Yeah, it's kind of like you're watching Lilo and Stitch, and they just made like Stitch fucking a gremlin or something. You know what? It doesn't feel like Gremlins to me, if that makes sense. But
yeah, there's an anarchy. You have to be able to make Piranha to make Gremlins. I'm just trying to let you know. Remember Piranha where they chewed up the kids?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. By the way, Joe Dante did an episode of Video Archives with Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery's. I highly recommend listening to that. Came on. The Dantes came on.
Dante's Peak. Daisy Ridley led Star Wars New Jedi Order movie to begin filming in April of 2024. This is from Bespin Bulletin. And earlier this week,
all the answers.
Disney he watched the hot mic. Earlier this week, Disney shared their updated schedule. But to be fair, he watches it so you don't have to. You know what I mean?
No, watch the show. Just tip responsibly. Don't give $100 fucking and ask like
You
I'm
don't
just trying to
tip
figure
this
out-
show. Everybody's always like, tip
Yes,
responsibly
Breezy.
to these people that are making all
Yeah.
this fucking money.
Spread
Fucking
it
tip me.
around.
God damn it.
Tipped him $100.
I gotta
like. Did you think you were gonna somehow get more Star Wars info out of them? Like they, that they have info. They're giving it out. They need the clicks. Right?
By the way, guys, we saw that Snyder is doing those things like where you give him like $8 or something, and then he like gives you like a happy birthday message. He's on that
cameos.
server. Yeah. So we need
He's
to
doing
pull...
cameos.
Yeah, a bit weird, right? But we need to get one for Chris Spreezy. We need to, Chris Spreezy's birthday. We have to get one, and I don't know.
Why did you say this on air? Why did you say this on air?
Because Spreezy's not watching right now, so he'll miss it, and then we'll all be able to just laugh at it together.
No one tell.
No one say shit. But yeah.
True.
So we're gonna
I wouldn't say
like last time.
And I don't know if it's like the cameo service specifically, but yeah, it's one of those things. And so I don't know if he'll like read whatever you say, but oh fuck, that's a fun.
The one time I met Snyder,
Mhm.
I was at the Schmodown when they were filming it, and they were in between, and he comes in the back, and he comes around, and he's wearing this like his getup, which is like this oversized clown suit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a toothpick and glasses, and he does the Jack Nicholson thing to me, like with the rolling the toothpick, with the eyebrow. I was like, this motherfucker, this guy, he's good, man. Like you need that kind of moxie for LA,
Yeah, there's a lot of it. Okay, so earlier this week, Disney shared their updated release schedule, which saw the planned untitled Star Wars film set for December 2025 get delayed to May of 2026, along with a new release date of December 2026 for their untitled Star Wars movie. Despite the delay, reliable insiders reporting that the film will shoot in the spring of 2024. You could become a Patreon supporter of Bespin. Disney and Lucasfilm had an untitled Star Wars flick set to release in December of 2025 for a handful of years, with the belief being, due to numerous reports, that the movie aiming for that release date is the one being led by Daisy Ridley, with Shireen Obaid-Chinoy set to direct Stephen Knight penning the script. The film itself was formally announced at Star Wars Celebration back in April, with Lucasfilm El Presidente, Kathleen Kennedy, and Obaid-Chinoy both revealing that Kennedios, with Ridley's Rey Skywalker building a new Jedi Order. The announcement followed the departure of the film's original writers Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson, who were asked to leave the project after reportedly turning in a disappointing script. Or that book.
Burn it all down.
Burn it all down. However, Disney has now delayed the untitled New Jedi Order Star Wars movie to May 22nd, 2026, which has felt like a possibility in recent times due to the ongoing WGA strike. When doing press at Celebration, Kennedy revealed that the writer Stephen Knight was due to submit his draft of the script by mid-May. But as we know, the WGA strike began on May 1st, and work was halted. It's unknown if Knight managed to submit a draft earlier than expected ahead of the WGA strike. There's always a chance he sent in, here's where I'm at. Here's as far as I got. But with no end in sight currently, it's
opening
possible.
crawl.
Yeah.
It's space, exterior space.
Yeah. So Star Wars, The Adventures of Rey, Enter Knight, Stephen Knight, Take My Hand, Often. Wait, he's just writing fucking Metallica lyrics with his name for the opening crawl. All right.
Wouldn't be a first for Lucasfilm.
But with no insight currently, it would delete the blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Journalist and credible industry insider Jeff Snyder took to his podcast, The Hot Mic, this week to address the film's delay. According to Snyder, the delay comes from the third Avatar film having to be delayed into December 2025, and Disney not wanting two of their monumentally successful franchises going head-to-head. So they delayed the untitled Daisy Ridley-led flick to May 2026. The same month, Disney and Marvel Studios will release Avengers: The Kang Dynasty.
Can't wait for that.
However, the most notable tidbit from Snyder is that Disney and Lucasfilm have not delayed their plans in regards to production for the Obaid-Chinoy directed effort, claiming that the film is still aiming to begin filming in April of next year. I said, this is Snyder. I said they were going to let her, Kathleen Kennedy, make that next Star Wars movie, right? If there's not a Star Wars movie out by December 2025, then she'll be let go. In this case, there's not going to be a Star Wars movie, but that's because Disney pushed it to May 2026 because of Avatar 3. Avatar needed a delay. Does that
and they sold it to the Saudis?
Does that speak to our rumor that
first Lucas and now the Saudis? So
everybody's buying Star Wars and Avatar.
Everyone's buying Star Wars.
What's going? So Avatar.
Logan Paul's next.
Does that speak to our rumor that James Cameron was going to do something with the extra footage of Avatar that could come out next year? But with regards to that, Disney couldn't have Star Wars and Avatar releasing in December of 2025. So they delayed Star Wars to May 2026 and is still going to start filming in April 2024. It's not delayed or anything. So the news that Lucasfilm still intends on shooting the next film in April next year, 2 years before the film is due to release, comes as a bit of a surprise to me, given that a release date delay gives the production more time to start shooting and for Knight to continue working on the script, as he had to pause work on that for an unspecified amount of time. Personally, I'd still expect a production delay at some point due to the impacts of the WGA strike. But that should not hamper the film's release date. And this is really just my own speculation, and I'm not working off of information provided from my various sources. However, I've been told on various occasions that the new Jedi Order film is due to shoot in the United Kingdom, likely at Pinewood Studios. Earlier this week, I broke down the Star Wars release dates set by Lucasfilm and Disney, detailing what movie will take which release date, which I encourage you to read here. Jeff Snyder also denied some wild rumors from last week, including Idris Elba's one we talked about. So, and then you could support him on all that stuff, TikTok, and you can follow him on TikTok and all that jazz. But make sure you support him on Patreon if you read his stuff and you like his stuff, and I do. So
I do.
Yeah. So, anyways, the point is, the movie's not supposed to be like delayed. Now, after this came out, I hit up a couple of Pinewood homies and said, "Hey, what's going on there? Do you know like about April?" And they're like, "None of us have been told we're going to be doing a Star Wars movie in April." Now, I'm not saying that means it's not true or it's no, or it's fake. What I'm saying is that
the Saudis.
For the record, you're being really inside baseball. There was this like YouTube. Yeah, nobody knows what you're talking about.
It was trending on Twitter last night. Like,
was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not for me on Twitter. So.
Okay, I only saw the fucking fake video thing. And I was like, yeah. But yeah, it's like they keep saying George Lucas bought Star Wars, and now they're saying that the Saudis bought Star Wars off of Disney. It's like, what the fuck, fucking people. But anyways, I reached out to them and said, "Hey, have you heard anything? Do you know? Are you guys being told?" And they've said that, like, by and large, like, and I'm talking like the majority of the crew who are on some other films right now. I won't say which films but they're like, yeah, we hope we're going to be on it. We hope it's filming here, but they don't know anything about it. So yeah, it makes me, number one, obviously I don't know Jeff Snyder and I don't know his sources, but I'm guessing that his sources are in Disney itself. And so this is probably what like management is hoping, as opposed to what the laymen are being told at this point. So I don't think it's trickled down that far in this yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if April is if April is the agenda, but we'll see if it really ends up being April when all shakes out, when all is said and done. I still think April is pretty early considering the amount of time that they do have. And two things about that. Number one, it gives them a lot of time to fix the movie, to make the movie right, to get the movie really well done. And we like that. On the other hand, when Indiana Jones comes out, which also had a ton of fucking time and was really, really expensive, and now is unlikely to make its money back, will they allow that for Star Wars? Does this just end up being for nothing? I don't know. So they may end up. So I'm kind of curious if they may end up filming it a bit later, anyways. But I do believe Snyder that's the intended release window, filming window is in April. It's when they want to start. But and if filming is to begin, once again, does it's always down to semantics. if filming begins in April, that means about 2 months before that, we should start to see sets being built and activity and stuff like that really going pretty fast. So, or does that mean that's when sets start building and they're not really going to film till the summer? Because originally I was under the impression that it was going to film in the summertime, but fucking, if it starts fucking April 24th or something, right? It's just like, that's practically May, which is really close to June. It's not that far off. It all kind of makes the same general true narrative. So whatever. But so yeah, there's no Idris Elba. That was just the fucking person who they were just pulling out of their butt. Somebody probably told people that. Somebody started probably pushing it around, and that's not true. I don't
can
think
manifest it, Jason.
Yeah, I don't think that casting has really gone down on this new movie, and the people who they had intended to play certain parts as it was forming up are not involved anymore, as the creatives behind the scenes changed and moved on. And so I said, I'm not going to really believe any casting from anybody, even, and if any casting games like, let's put it this way, they're a person of color and they live in the United States.
You sound like Kids in the Hall. Let's put it this way.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Right. And you're just like, oh my God, it could be anybody. You know what I mean? Like that, all that stuff. It's just like, this
is like that time As a True tried to manifest decent frame rates for Jedi Survivor. It worked, right? Did it? Or are we still fucked on that? Like, I didn't keep track.
Mine runs all right. Mine's running all right.
Well, speaking of games, there is a lot to go over. So, firstly, I saw something about Star Wars Eclipse. So they did a TV segment on a French channel.
Okay.
And some of the stuff they said is just so listen to this, right? So they were showing them filming, doing facial scans and stuff, all that kind of stuff. Saying how the models of the game is going to be really high quality. They was doing Foley sound design, stuff like that.
Dave Foley.
But the guy who's I think he's the director. He's the next David Cage. He said they had bad conditions at the studio in 2018, but it's far behind them now, and they just focused on.
Thank God, that's true.
They just focused on making the games now.
Right.
It's going well, apparently, and they're working on it every day. But now, I said that in my video and was like, yeah, well, if it was going well, they'd show something more. And it just because it happened 5 years ago doesn't mean it didn't happen. And some guy just said, this is a really negative video, and I'm like, how can you be positive?
Right.
Whatever. But that's something. So they invited, I think they were apparently, someone said they were far right, but I don't know if that's accurate. But they're one of the, they're not like a main channel in France. They're a bit like a tabloidy or something like that.
Oh, so they're kind of like the French Fox News or something.
Yeah, someone did say that. So yeah, you could probably expect. So it's so no wonder that they did something like that. But it was just a 1 minute segment of them doing motion capture and stuff like that in the game, which is really interesting considering they've been so quiet about the game, and there's a lot of job offers going, but no one seems to be going for the jobs there.
I mean, come on, who doesn't want to work at a kooky office where you might show up and then you're just like, oh look, we're all in Nazi uniforms today, like Indiana Jones. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They wouldn't want that.
I'm letting you just hang out there with that.
like Indiana Jones. No, I mean, I'm making fun of the new director who's like, that's all behind us. Everything's great here. We're all fine now. Yeah. We're fine. Everything's fine. How are you?
Yeah. So on to Outlaws, which there was a lot of good information. I think because they did loads of interviews with loads of outlets of all different sizes. So there was a lot of small outlets.
You guys the hot loads.
The hot load that should be with Azatrue. The hot load. So
the hot load with Azatrue.
Yeah. Here we go. But for loading times, for not for the sexual thing.
What sexual thing? I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So basically, one of the quotes I found quite interesting is that ND5, the commando droid, apparently has a very dark past.
Well, he's a fucking battle droid, of course. He's like murdering children and stuff, right?
He was once an NFT, right?
And then he's hired to basically keep an eye on Kay through the story. So he's not like a companion like Nyx, where you can like control him, but he's going to be like integral to the story.
He's like the gangster who's been set to watch you to make sure you don't fucking do this wrong thing, right? Right? That's kind of what it is, correct? Like he's working for the bad guys, but he's like with you. And is his name really Dial of Destiny? Because it's
he's ND5. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, ND5.
Exactly. We did on our Star Wars game tour account. We did like a really cool Photoshop. It was like him with the Indiana Jones hat, and like we changed the font to like the Indiana Jones, and it flopped. Like just didn't.
Well, I appreciate it. I like it.
So on the technical side, so the gameplay we saw was in widescreen, right? And like that was like a bit confusing.
Yeah.
To me and others. Well, that's actually a mode they created for the game. Mm-hmm. So you're able to play in widescreen on console, because consoles don't support widescreen displays. But if you want to play in widescreen, they've created a widescreen mode. So it's more cinematic. They've said they've done like a bunch of stuff to make the game like cinematic. So it's like the films, like loads of technical stuff. They didn't really elaborate other than like the widescreen mode. But I mean, to be honest,
they have a woke mode.
It already does. Like according to the internet, it already is. I actually, if I checked the other day, if you type in like Star Wars Outlaws into YouTube, it's like Star Wars Outlaws woke is like the 8th most searched term for the game. It's like Star Wars Outlaws trailer, gameplay, release date, Ubisoft, and then it's like bad, and then woke. It's like okay.
Right.
So
meanwhile, they're gonna buy it.
Yeah, well, I've got comments. I posted on Twitter yesterday. There's a guy that said his adult son does not play games when he plays as a woman. Apparently.
Okay.
I always play games as a woman.
And he's like, we don't buy games that do that. We buy games that you can customize all of your characters. We don't play set character games. And I said, see, you're still going to buy it? And he's like, no, we're actually not going to buy it. They've lost sales. I'm like, okay. And then he was saying they're going to lose loads of sales. I'm like, no, you can't change Cal in Fallen Order much. And it's sold 30 million copies. It's like the 3rd best-selling Star Wars game of all time.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a problem.
This is my problem, because it's like, I'm out here advocating that they add character creation to open world games, but then these fucking right wingers co-opt it because they only want to play as white people. They want to play Starkiller every fucking game. You know what I mean? Like that's
Space
like,
Vikings.
I just want to make certain that my talking point isn't coming from you guys. Know it ain't coming from their fucking bullshit talking point.
I don't know.
My whole problem is these game studios tend to build the most generic lead character I could think of. Right, the one that will appeal to everyone is the thing that I don't. I want to play as like the least interest. I want to play as the Steve Buscemi of the Star Wars universe. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want I want the character that isn't the hero to be the hero. The thing they're never gonna put on the box is that's just me. It has nothing to do with this other fucking nonsense.
Right.
So, and they're all liars anyway. They'll buy the shit. Just like all these motherfuckers were out there saying they weren't going to go see Avatar. And now they're like, I saw it. I thought you weren't going to watch it. Like, everyone tells me they've seen the movie. I thought you all told me no one was seeing the movie. Like, it's trash. You told me it was trash before you ever saw it. Like, all right. You weren't going to see it.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
this guy called Mike, who's got an adult son who refuses to play as a woman, he says they have not played Fallen Order for that reason. They said
excuse me, my adult son is out slaying pussy right now. He does not have time.
Meanwhile, Rudy Giuliani's emailing people as Helen. You know what I mean? Dressing up in drag and letting Trump motorboat him. So like they got no consistency as a truth.
And then let's talk about factions. So we saw Han in the trailer and likely to Jabba, and they did confirm it was definitely Jabba, and that the Hutt cartel is going to be one of the factions you're going to be getting involved in the game. So you can do business with the Hutts, or you can cause them issues. So it's up to you. And they also hinted that you will be able, like Jabba's palace will be part of the open world of Tatooine, so you'll be able to go find it and just go in.
Will it look better than the Book of Boba Fett version?
I feel like with the fidelity we've seen, it's gonna have more than like one person.
It's got to have more than one person in a rabbit, right? Like in a robot rabbit. Like,
yeah.
Right.
And listen to me, Asatru. When my adult son sees this, he says, my adult son says, "I'm sorry, but I am all about pussy. I'm all about being a man, and I don't want to see this in my life. This makes me sick. This makes me sick right here. I hate looking at this because I am a real man." I don't know.
It sounds like if
it's really weird that
was
somebody
watching
wouldn't
Fox
want to
News,
see
Jason.
this. It's really weird that if you're going to play it like the man card, that you don't want to see this. Like, that is really strange to me. Like, that does not make sense. That doesn't.
I do wonder what games they actually do play though, because they keep saying they love open world games, but all the like most popular and best open world games to a lot of people have set characters.
Yeah.
So I don't
play the parts of Grand Theft Auto that feature a black man. You know, like that fucking shit. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
they're gonna
have
a rude awakening when GTA 6 comes out.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say. GTA 6, just wait till they, you know.
Well, they're already mad. They're already mad about it, and it's not coming out for like another 2 years.
Well, of course they're. But look, they're mad about green M&Ms. What do you want from these people?
I'm going to throw it out here, guys. I think we got a new Bix on our hands. This is a Bix hot lady right here. This is the next Bix. This is Bix 2.0.
Nobody's
and the adult son in me is okay with that. The adult son is okay. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go on, Asatru.
So to do with the faction stuff, so if you get caught stealing from one of these factions, in the future,
hold on, Asatru. I like that this guy says he still has not seen the Blue Cats movie 2, Stand Strong, and his name is Jake Sully. You figured out. All right. Good job, Jake Sully.
So yeah, basically, what like if you do bad things to a certain organization, a certain gang within an organization, then the gang will, the organization may catch wind of it and then refuse to do business with you. So if you really want something and you go to get it from them, they may not want to trade with you. And if you fail to bribe, say, an Imperial guard that's like in the underworld, then they may actually, even though they are corrupt, they're still going to send some Imperials after you. And what they said is, when you're in a spot of trouble, you're going to have various ways to get out of it. So because it's open world, you can run to your spaceship and fly off, but you may be chased like to different star systems. Okay. So it's going to be planet to planet. They may be chasing you, or you can just like stay where you are, stand your ground, and just fight off waves of enemies. So there's going to be like various ways of getting out of situations. It's going to be up to you. And they also said, it wasn't so clear, but they said basically some of the decisions you make do have an impact on the ending. Now, I don't believe they mean the actual ending to the game. I feel like it's probably just certain narrative points may be different. Because they do say everyone's going to experience some of the most emotional parts of the game, because like that's core to the story. Like, but I'd imagine like certain parts, not everyone will get if you do different things. And I saw a lot of people complaining it's not multiplayer. There's no live service. There's no co-ops like that. And they basically said because they've done the Division 1 and 2 for so long, which have been live service games, they had enough of doing that. So they wanted to make a single player game, just a pure single player game. And I've already had tons of comments on my own videos complaining that it's a missed opportunity. It's bad. It's going to be a bad game. They're not blah 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 blah. I'm like, listen, in the video, I just explained why they aren't doing it. They've made 2 live service games for the last 10 years. They now want to do something different. You can't blame them.
I don't care what they want. I want to harass people online all day long, and
I just want my adult son to be happy.
See, Jason, these jokes are going to come to bite you in the ass one day. You got to be careful what you joke about. I don't have kids. I can make these jokes, but you never know how things will shape out, Jason.
if my son ever comes up to me and says, "Dad, I don't like how hot this girl is in Star Wars, and I don't want to be here," I'll be like, "Get the fuck out of here! I got fucking time for you."
I believe you will say that though. Like,
oh yeah, I will.
Yeah.
If my son was like, we don't play that," I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, Luke. What are you doing?" He wouldn't do that though, thankfully. Yeah, that's weird, man. That's a weird perspective to have, you know.
And then they also mentioned how the game came about and Lucasfilm. So basically, they said a lot of people were sort of saying, "Well, does Lucasfilm really have much of an impact on this game still?" And it was like, yeah, they meet every week to discuss the game. It's like very close.
It's almost like they're a fucking licensor and they have nothing else to do but check up on the status of their.
People will try
license.
to say like Ubisoft's like doing what they want, sort of thing, and like without Lucasfilm. And then they also said, so the idea came about because a lot of the people on like the team wanted to they like the idea of being a scoundrel, stuff like that, not being a Jedi, doing something different. Because people have been complaining, no lightsabers, no Jedi, no Sith. They're not buying it because there's no lightsabers, there's no Sith. Like I've had comments, I really hope you'll be able to pick up a lightsaber and use it, and stuff like that. But basically said they had the idea and they pitched it to Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm liked the idea and said there's this time period just before Return of the Jedi, just after Empire Strikes Back, and you can do it in that era because people were saying, why isn't it Clone Wars, why isn't it Mando? But it was Lucasfilm that chose that rather than Ubisoft.
Yeah, Lucasfilm is never going to pick the Mando era when they're making television shows in the Mando era.
Yeah, like basically Ubisoft was trying to say they didn't have it in mind. They just said, look, we've got this idea, scoundrel, blah blah blah, and Ubisoft and Lucasfilm was like, that fits in this time period,
right?
Because at the end of the day, they know all the canon stuff, and at the end of the Ubisoft developers were just fans and stuff like that. They also definitely confirmed Kojima. I don't know if I said that last time I was on, but Kojima did. Yeah. So that was good. Kojima! I think I do like how when we spoke about this game a long time ago, I said
kill Jimmy Smits. Is Kathleen Kennedy trying to kill Jimmy Smits? Sorry.
Don't say that.
I'm just connecting the dots, bro. All right, I'm just looking through the dots here.
La la la, connect the dots. La la la. Andrew has no fucking idea what I'm doing.
For the best.
Yeah.
So one of the first quote they had said about this game was that it was gonna be for all ages of Star Wars fans, and I feel like back then I was like, wonder if it's gonna be different eras. And
wait, does that mean it's for my adult son too?
I was kind of right because that Kojima, it's sequel era, so we've got original trilogy stuff, so maybe there'll be something prequel. And
the planet didn't come into being until the movie; it never existed before the film.
Yeah. Well, in episode 9, we see it when it's literally in a complete fascist state of control by the First Order.
I believe at this time, in this period of time, Zori's mother is the lead, crime lord there. So
yeah,
that might be where they're going.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Bliss. I'm Dorothy. I'm really old. So okay. That's cool.
And they also, some of the statements they was talking about, so the main planet we saw in the gameplay, Tashara, a lot of the statements they made it was very similar.
Wait, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but my adult son is now mad that Zori Bliss is a Nepo baby. Zori Bliss is just a Nepo baby. He hates it. He's out again. Sorry, go ahead.
So it sounded like there was... what they were saying was very similar to how Respawn described Kobo. That's the planet they've spent the most time developing, and it's because it's an original planet. That's going to be.
Sorry, we don't say that. We don't say that word on this show. We don't say that word on this show. Kobo. Can't say that word.
So
Jason's making a character today. It's all happening as we go.
It can be
working it out. We're seeing it. The magic's it's all happening, folks. Just watch it.
I just love this guy and his adult son. I just can't fucking get over it.
Oh, he wrote an essay to me. He wrote an entire essay. Yeah. He was like, no, all these games that have canned characters, but they lose sales. I'm like, so Red Dead Redemption, Zelda, The Witcher, all of these open world games that like the best selling, and they lose sales. Yeah, sure, okay. And they're like, we haven't played those. We didn't play those. I'm like, okay, well, I just didn't bother replying because like he was literally writing an entire essay.
Go broke. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It rhymes, so it must be true, right? Because it rhymes.
And the last thing is the technology behind the game. So looking at like going into detail, watching the 4K version and what other people are saying, basically it's definitely real footage of the game. Like it was dropping frames here and there. Like if they wanted to fake it, it would have been locked 60. There was a lot of frame drops. But it was also it was apparently like running at 1440p, not true 4K. It was been upscaled. Some of the like motion blur isn't like correct. But the lighting, it's a step up compared to say like in Fallen Order in some aspects. So it's definitely the real deal. It's just really early on.
Digital Foundry did a pretty good look at that footage on they did a Ubisoft video, and they get to the Star Wars Outlaws and did a good job of trying to show like where they thought things were being like up-resed in real time, right? That 1440p and what lighting was probably real. You could even see on some frames like aliasing occurring. So the question is whether that's running on like an internal PC build or like what is it?
It'll
like
be on PC for sure. Like even
but will it run at 2 frames per second or will it run at like 30 frames per second? Like their internal builds on PC run great, but then when you get the PC version of the game, it runs like shit. You figure that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Jonesy says, hope you don't kick Luke out if he starts pointing out how handsome the male characters in the Star Wars are instead of the females. No, I wouldn't do that. The people want open world, not scripted storylines. Open world always has scripted storylines, though.
Yeah.
That's one of the things like
GTA.
Yeah,
like
look at the amount of writing that goes into Grand Theft Auto.
But like you can do what you want. Like you can pick and choose like how you want to approach the game. Like
hold on, Jonesy, you don't want scripted storylines when you motherfuckers. I don't mean you, but these guys out there are like, fucking all we want is a real story. If we want Fallen Order, we want a real story. You ain't giving us no stories. Like, what are you talking about?
But that's the thing with Star Wars. It's so big. If you do anything, and somebody's all like, if you do lightsabers, well, why can't I just use a gun and be a scoundrel? Then you make a scoundrel game. Why can't I just be a Luke Skywalker and use a lightsaber?
Why can't it be bomb bed racing too? Hey, what's up? I like the bomb bed racing.
It's all nerd whataboutism. What about this other thing? And it's a fucking. It's just like, you know what? You just got fucking Fallen Order 2.
Meanwhile, these cats are fucking putting how much money into some generic live service fucking game like Warplanes 3000, some shit. No one, like these fucking people got like 800 fucking mobile games on their phone. They're putting money in every month, but they're gonna hyper fixate on the Star Wars game. It's crazy. By the way, I don't have any fucking games on my mobile phone, so I live by the creed.
Me either, but only because I'm too old to see.
Elden Ring had a storyline. You know what I mean? Like, who was bitching about that?
I genuinely don't know what these the games these people are playing. Like, they keep saying they was misled by Ubisoft, thinking it was going to be an RPG game. I'm like, they never said anything. I don't know where you.
Well, maybe because they played 2 South Park games and thought maybe Ubisoft would make a third one. I wish they would make a Star Wars South Park game. That would be great.
Yeah,
I would love that. Yeah,
but some of these people didn't play Jedi Survivor, but they want a lightsaber game, and I'm like,
so what they're saying is, I'm not a consumer of the product that I'm not going to be a consumer of. Therefore, I'm relevant. No, you just proven how irrelevant you are to the equation, actually, and to the conversation.
None of them have given me an example of what games they're playing.
They keep giving Star Citizen money. You know what I mean? Thinking that's going to somehow work.
The thing
out.
is, a lot of from what I've gathered, like most of these players are like just console guys as well. Like they always complain that PC get this, that, and the other.
Hey, no one bitches more than the PC guys.
Oh, for sure, they're definitely the loudest online. But like a lot of the Star Wars gamers, they're all on console. Like,
it only has 136 frames per second. Why doesn't it have 3040 frames per second? Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So anything else? Was there anything else as a true or?
At the moment, that's basically it. But there's just been so much ridiculous talking points from people, like YouTube channels, anonymous people. Like it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. Like like we're potentially 18 months away from the game releasing, even more, so maybe less. We've seen 10 minutes of gameplay. Like that's pretty good compared to the other games we've had.
Compared to actually almost any of them. I don't think. I mean, am I wrong? Have any of them released this much gameplay this early on?
So the difference has been EA's done it, in my opinion, the best approach, where they announced the game, showed off a trailer like 2-3 months later, then showed gameplay a month later, then released it like 5 months after that, and had betas and lots of prep. So within like 9 months, we went from finding out the game exists to getting the full game, like every single time. Pretty good, in my opinion. Like that's how it was done. Should be done. All of the others post EA have just been like announcements with nothing, or have been like a CGI trailer, like Eclipse, right? And the KOTOR remake. Whereas this game, it's been in development longer than some of the others, but they didn't give us a CGI trailer. They didn't give us any details. They just said, we're making an open world Star Wars game. Left it at that. And then 2 years later, 2.5 years later, came out with a CG trailer, load of interviews, 10-minute gameplay demo, behind the scenes footage, developer commentary, and then they're intending Comic-Con next month. And then they also it's not coming out for over another year potentially. So that's pretty good.
The Eclipse like trailer, like that fundamentally offends me. Where you just made up, like we're just gonna make up like a trailer and call it like a thing. Now, if they did a trailer like that, but it was like introducing K-Vess, then it's okay that it's
if they say did that a year ago, when it was close to the actual game. It's like Jedi Survivor, right? Jedi Survivor was announced last May at Celebration, and the game was probably going to be coming out like end of last year, but it got delayed like a full year. It didn't come out for like another year. But that CG trailer still represented the game, like in terms of like some plot points, like
the general
things changed, but like the actual scene still happened in the game. Like you got a good idea of what it was. It was like, okay, Cal finds an old guy in a back tank. There's a senator on Coruscant. Like it's like you got a general idea. Like the graphics are way better than the game, but still, even the fight scene with Dagon was in the game, just in a different room. It still was there like it was pretty close. So if they'd have done this a year ago, like introducing K and whatnot, it would have been great. But at the same time, in 2 days they gave us way more than like the KOTOR remake, Eclipse, and everything else combined. Has done in like 2.5 years.
So let's get them, boys. Let's get them. Oh, sorry.
So but if they only use the power of AI, they could make the whole game in like 3 weeks. Welcome to the future.
What did you just say? Somebody's like, what did you just say right now? At Lucasfilm.
No one picks on my little friend AI.
AI. Well, I mean, I
to democratize creativity, just steal everything.
There we go. Artistic communism. It's
no, capitalism.
It's gonna end up. It's gonna end up like this game is, I think, more likely to come out than any of them, just based off of the fact of how much they've shown where they're at with it, and like what the flow is. Like I have more confidence in this, and I think that they're doing this probably or potentially anyways because there is low consumer confidence in Star Wars games, considering the last decade that we've
also
had
in
them.
Ubisoft, not just Star Wars. Ubisoft need to make money, and they've like their Ubi Forward event. Like as someone that's been critical of them, who's like lost interest in all of their games.
Yeah,
the Avatar showcase for me was good. The Star Wars showcase was fantastic, much better than I could have hoped for.
Yeah.
And they've restored faith in like a bunch of people. Like, okay, now you've shown us, now deliver on the games. So I think they needed this win, like they with the Star Wars stuff. Like they know it's going to be a big success. They've seen how well Survive and Fallen Order's done. It's a single player Star Wars game. People will turn up. The noise of it, you can't use a lightsaber. Yeah, sure. Lightsaber. Fallen Order is probably going to sell more copies, right? It's probably not. It's not going to reach Fallen Order's level of popularity, but it's still going to do very well. And we don't need every game to be lightsaber game. Like I don't understand what everyone like. If you want to know the world now, Survivor is still pretty good. Like Kobo, for example, is fantastic to just explore and do your thing with a lightsaber.
Right.
And people, there are going to be other games. There's more Star Wars games development now than there has been in over 10 years. So there's not going to be a drought. Like I know people want KOTOR, but like that's got issues.
I want 2002 again. No, I'm good. I'll be okay if that shit never happens.
It makes me laugh. They keep saying they want 5-6 games a year, but like they will also complain that's too many.
You on, right?
Yeah.
2002. Headstrong. Right?
I don't know. It's Brittany, bitch. Jonesy says criticism of linear games points to the lack of player choice and replayability. If players are focused down a single path, is it really a game where the actions matter? No, we need to matter. And I mean,
these aren't fucking simulations.
Yeah. Maybe it's just me, but like when I complete a game, I don't replay it. I move on to the next thing I want to enjoy. And then move on to the next one, and move on to the next one. Like people have commented on my videos today. I've played Fallen Order 5 times now. I'm bored. I want a new Star Wars game. I want lightsabers. I'm like, why are you playing it 5 times in 5 weeks?
Right.
Like I rushed through it because I had to.
Meanwhile, these guys will tell you Ocarina of Time is the greatest video game ever made.
It is
Kingdom of Choice. Ocarina of Time. Kingdom of Choice.
Yeah, well, no, that's my whole thing is Jonesy is like in a game like this one, your choices. What Asher just said, your choices do matter if you get caught stealing, if you decide to mess over this gang and work for this gang, then there's like going to be like ramifications for it. And that does give actually replayability on that right there alone though, because I could do one where I decide to work for the Hutts, and I could do one where I decide I hate the Hutts, I work for everybody but them. Like there is that like angle to it, but at the same time, I mean, like I get what you're saying, like in the MMO sense, but we need to look at the game for the genre in which it is being released.
Infinite choice with infinite fucking scalable. I'm trying to show me what.
I suppose they mean like the Telltale games and like the Quantic Dream games, but
Telltale, the company that went out of fucking business, that made the shittiest Bone game ever fucking made. Come on, man. Like they made the most generic looking Batman game ever made.
But
get out of here, dude.
No, but it's one of those things though. Like you need to look at what the genre of the game is. Like you can't go and you can't decide.
Elden Ring sucks because what you I don't understand. Like what you can make plenty of choices in the South Park games. Those are RPGs. Those are funny. Those have a story, but like it has a singular outcome. Chrono Trigger has fucking 11 different endings, but like. Essentially, it's still the same game. No. What this problem is, man, these guys are pining for an alternate universe reality game like Sword Art Online with Star Wars that doesn't exist. They're wishing for something that's impossible to make.
Yeah, like no, if they want to, like realistically, when you look at like what they did with Star Wars Galaxies back in the day, and if you put that into VR, they would have something, because in that kind of thing right there. it's not, doesn't have to be all quest based. The fact is that you are in that world, you are in that place.
Yeah.
And if they were doing that,
then you know what they do, Jason?
But that's not.
Then they go and complain that no one has enough time for this. Why can't they just make a game that's like 10 hours long? Why is everything got to be 100 hours? There's always some fucking counter argument. You know what I mean? With nihilistic tech bros, dude.
Well, but I think that's the problem with reading one comment on the internet. Like if you just read, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like what matters, like I said, there's like a lot of like that whataboutism that goes on there. But look at it from your perspective. When you look at the game, like Rob looks at Jedi Fallen Order 2, he didn't buy it because it didn't interest him. It didn't pertain to his life right now and what he has time for or wants to do with this time. I looked at it and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm fucking in. I pre-ordered that shit way early and I had a great time with it. And I had fun. And that's kind of like how people need to be socially mindful. But when it comes to your like buying a fucking video game, think about yourself, because that's what it's about. That's about you. And like, and then if something doesn't pertain to you and you don't want it, then you just don't buy it and you just like move on. But I mean, but I understand where Jonesy's coming from in the sense that I'm an MMO guy. Like I like MMOs. I like the ability, like I like the faction system that the game has set up, by the way, that it's talking about, which I think kind of comes out.
Star Wars MMO, you can play it right now, Jason.
No, no, it's not, because it's not the one I want.
And it features the Old Republic, so that's a twofer.
That's not what I want. That's exactly
what it's got choices. It's got Knights of the Republic.
No,
it's got open world. What?
Old Republic's not a bad game, but my problem with it is that it's Knights of the Old Republic. I think it's a very ugly looking Star Wars era and genre of Star Wars. I'm not a fan of it. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't feel good to me overall. They did a good job when they went from the Old Republic from KOTOR to the Old Republic itself. Like they got it a lot better. But fucking Halo style armor with Jedi robes on top of it looks fucking awful to me. I think it's a fashion Star Wars sin, if you ask me.
You haven't played Star Citizen or Destiny 2.
I'll be okay. I did play Destiny. I love Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is not Star Wars. Because it looks good in Destiny doesn't mean it's good for Star Wars. That's something I feel very strongly about on that front. Destiny looks great for Destiny. Destiny and Star Wars aren't the same thing. That's why I wouldn't want to see Luke Skywalker in fucking Halo armor with Jedi robes on top of it. That would look fucking ridiculous. But some reason you move it 1,000 years behind and people are like, that's cool. And I'm just like, no, not really. You're just a little kid in your brain or something. And like, it's like an action figure cool to you, but it would look terrible on screen. That's why honestly, that's why I think they haven't rushed into the Old Republic on TV and film, because it fucking isn't going to transfer to live action for the damn.
Jason, let's be honest. Like these cats, like the games are talking about games at the scale of say Skyrim to Cyberpunk. They take basically, man, 10 years to make a game like that.
Right.
No studio is going to fucking put in 10 years into a licensed game. There are guarantees that have to be met when you're building licensed properties and stuff. And you can't even tell if the license would be good. They could kill a license into the ground by the time your shit comes out. When it's an original thing, then you can hold back and be like, well, there is no other Skyrim. But if they were making Skyrim movies, Skyrim books, Skyrim comics all at the same time, Skyrim the game might not sell because it's been overkilled. There's a lot of complications that come with licensed properties, folks. And there's just a reality to production, which I think we do a pretty good job here trying to remind you all. So you could sit there and play this like game in your head where you're like, I want this infinite game that it's like really big and it's the size of something and it corresponds to the size of Cyberpunk and you can go to every planet, like they just mash up every game no game is ever going to be made that's that big. There isn't enough power.
If they ever try to, they will cancel it before it comes out. So
I've seen I've heard firsthand, like how even for a no single player, just multiplayer only Battlefront, how bad Lucasfilm was when it came to that sort of stuff. when they first came out. Now they're way better because they've learned from all of their mistakes they made. But they were very bad in like when they first was getting started with games. Now it's much better. But like it just like even back then that didn't have a single player campaign, and what their decisions affected that game. So yeah, like but now a lot of them in the, like at least Lucasfilm and like Respawn, for example, like you know they've got a couple of games under their belt. They know what they're doing, so things are better. But like I do think what an issue some of the people starting out for their first Star Wars project, they're gonna have issues like adapting to having to work on a license like that.
Right.
So
yeah, but Ubisoft has a team that's used to working with light. I mean, this come out from an Avatar game, so they're
Oh yeah.
Like,
Ubisoft,
it's not their first one. You know what I mean?
It's more like the others. Like for example, Quantic Dream. Like they've only done original stuff, and now they're doing like 3 games at the same time. Like that's just ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see if that ever happens.
Peter says, "Shoot, I still play SWTOR the most. Nothing beats my body type 4, big and tall." And you know what? Hutball kept that shit going for me for a long time.
Speaking of Hutball, Hunter's got a major update the other day.
The game's out.
It's been out for 2 years.
What?
So he got a major update. Like they added a brand new character. They honestly, the stuff they added, it was just a humongous list of things they added and changed. And then it launched in France. Now France is the largest country they've launched in so far. So like half of Europe, I think it's in now. So I feel like there is a full worldwide release. I mean, I say worldwide release. Like all of South America has it, Asia has it, half of Europe has it. It's literally just like the UK, US, Germany.
Yeah, the places that count.
Yeah, the one with the people where people are actually asking for it.
What?
So yeah, so I do feel like a full release is getting closer because they've made just a humongous list of changes and they've like been responding to like community
hot load
members.
exclusive. Full release is close.
That's just my speculation. My theory of it being revealed at Celebration to have like a console version didn't pan out, but who knows? Maybe it just wasn't ready in time. But
the hot load features as a true in Star Wars dad. Right? And his adult son.
His adult son. He's in the other room. He's boycotting YouTube now. Jonesy says Red Dead Redemption's honor system was a new innovative way to determine the main character's path. Your choices and behavior mattered even with a forest story. Yeah, I mean that game is
13 years old. Have they made another one since the last one?
I mean, no, but Red Dead Redemption 2
is
still like I think it's one of the best.
And
games
the first one was a Capcom game, but the last one was made in 2010. Man, where's the other Red Dead Redemption? Do you see what I'm saying? It takes forever to make these games.
Well, wait. Red Dead Redemption came out in 2010 too.
Oh, sorry, 2012 or whatever. It's been 10 years, dude.
No. The first one came out in 2010, and then it took 8 years.
Yeah,
for the
8
second
years.
one.
Yeah, they're sorry, but so
it did.
You think
it did get rebooted,
but
but that was part of the issue. Like they originally, it was meant to I think it was targeting the 360 and PS3 at one time, and like what they wanted to do, it was just not gonna cut it. So they just restart, just like GTA 6. They've restarted GTA 6 because they were being too ambitious. But
right now, we don't have any indication that.
But Red Dead 2 has a set story, dude. Like that's why you can watch it from beginning to end.
Right, but we don't have any indication that the things that happen in Outlaws is going to not be unlike that. We don't actually know. We don't.
I'm pretty sure what they've said. It basically sounds just like it. Like
that's what
lots of the press keep who have interviewed the people keep saying it sounds very much similar to Red Dead 2. Right. And like the main the creative director, like the head of the game, he's like, I'm flattered that people are connecting like these two games because to me like they're the greatest games. Like they're the best games that are made.
The only thing that has been added to an open world game in the last 15 years that I thought was truly innovative. Look, I use the European version of that as
innovative. Come on,
innovative, right? Was the Nemesis system that Lord of the Rings game had, and Warner Bros. Went and copied or patented it so no one can use it. right?
Well, don't worry, they'll
Like-
have to sell it next week when the flash bills come. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, the thing is like we're making though a lot of assumptions. Like I do want it to be Red Dead Redemption Star Wars. Like that's what I hope it is. That like that's the fucking dream right
So
there.
Jack Black can make a song about it.
But is it? Is it? Is it really going to be? Are they really going to pull it off? And stuff
I think
like that.
for their first attempt, I think it's probably going to be good. I think once, like with Fallen Order to Survivor, I think if they get chance to do a second one, then they'll know. Like, look how much improved Survivor got because of the feedback from Fallen Order.
Yeah,
like everything.
Look how much good
had
Red Dead 2 got after the first one.
Yeah,
The second one is really just using the same tech and assets from the first one and then iterating on it. Like, and then they did it so well. They're like, we can't make another one. It's too hard now. They kind of Half-Life 2'd themselves.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I would say, the Rockstar games, Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead those are probably like my two of my favorite games, like console games or games I put on a console anyways.
I beat
ever,
GTA 5 twice,
Star Wars,
and look how little I play games, Jason.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yeah, if they're able to like tap any of that kind of general magic and put it in a Star Wars setting, because also I think that like a ton of Star Wars people don't play anything but Star Wars stuff and watch Star Wars movies, and that's it. So to them, it's like, oh my god, they just created Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. It's the most amazing game of all time. They really are set up to be that for a lot of people if they don't fuck it up.
It's literally going to come down to the writing, and our playing the quests fun, you know, like that's really what
Star
it
Wars
comes down
Galaxies. To. Walk 30 minutes to kill a reel. Those are like a little lizard.
I quit
and then walk back. You're just gonna be like, oh fuck that.
I think for me that's why a lot of people have really enjoyed Survivor, because like the creativity behind like you can go rescue a sandcrawler and some Jawas to get access to a new building. Like
I did that. And Jedi Survivor though, it also is just so beautiful that you can just like look around and if you just appreciate Star Wars aesthetics. It delivers on like almost all of it. Looks good almost everywhere. That's the thing about that game that blows me away like the most.
So because of how good this one has been, that's what makes me excited for what's to come next, because it's like they already significantly improved over Fallen Order, which was like a pretty good first attempt. They listened to
and for the record
feedback.
I don't feel that way about Jedi Fallen Order. It looks cool. It was fine. It was good looking, but compared to Jedi Survivor, it steps way.
But Jason, why wasn't Red Dead Redemption 2 released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360? Why was it only released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? It should not be released on new systems. It should be released on the old systems. Why?
Because Bill Gates was creating the vaccine.
Why?
To hype this all out.
Why?
And if
I've seen far too many people say Bill Gates is behind like Xbox still and stuff like that, and I'm like,
yeah, it's Bill Gates.
He's just trying to keep himself out of jail with his wife's fucking info on him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But I mean, hey, you know what? Why doesn't it run on Windows Millennium Edition? That's what I want to know. But
it's the same people, but the same people that fucking say these games are the ones that are complaining that, but then it's only on the new system. Well, Red Dead 2 was only released on new systems.
I think the difference is that when Red Dead came out, there wasn't like the new. It was like in the middle of the generation, and it also just looked like it could be a next gen game. Like it just looks phenomenal. But I've seen far too many people saying, "I'm just going to wait for the PS5 Slim," and I'm like, you could buy a pre-owned PS5 for cheaper than buying one at retail. You could buy a Series S.
Right.
Or you could spend $3,000 on a video card that runs 6 games, like at 20 frames per second. Have fun with that.
At the weekend, they were selling Survivor for $40.
Oh.
So people were saying, oh, I've got to pay $80. I'm like, it's not 80. It was 70, and it was already cheaper in some retailers. Like, it's 40 now. So if that was the sticking point for you, you can get it cheaper. It's been cheaper elsewhere, over time. Also, something interesting is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is still selling really, really well in Europe. It was like it sold more, or basically as many copies last month than the brand new Lego game that released that month.
Oh shit!
Oh,
So
2K Racing.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah, that probably isn't doing too well. Whereas over a year old Star Wars game is still selling really well. Like again, the internet seems to think it was made for 20-odd-year-old people, but it was actually made for kids, and that's who the parents are still buying it. Oh, trust me, there were people on Twitter telling me I was wrong. That most of the people playing it are like 25.
Right.
You've been arguing with Meg again. I told you not to get into it with her. She's smart.
Meg hunts down those ice cream people in that game. I've seen her do it.
She does.
But
she does.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm hoping that like this proves to them that it's worth finishing your games. Like it's worth getting the game out and then having it actually release, and because I mean, think about it, like freaking Ragtag, like that would have made so much money.
They should have just released it. I don't care.
They should have just like saw it through. It's very fucking strange how many of those and how many games have like died over the years, but look at the ones that come out, they do fucking well. It's not like they come out and then like nobody buys them. That's what's super weird about
look at Squadrons. Even Squadrons, that was really niche.
Yeah,
and people were complaining about because it wasn't Battlefront 3 and it's only first person and this, that, and the other. It still sold like 6 million copies,
so that means it sucks.
Yeah,
it was cheap. It sucks, but when it's expensive, it sucks.
No middle ground. If it's free, then it's fine because they don't have to pay anything.
Yeah,
and then spend $100.
I'm just going to give them $100 for skins, but.
Yeah, we always say Sabersmith says Lucasfilm needs to step up its TV story game because the games are telling better stories, and we 100%. Always say like a lot of those people in the games sphere, if you want to know what you call it, the games industry, they should be looking to them for the future of some of these shows. I totally agree.
Like, Fallen Order was wrote by 3 of the Clone Wars writers, so I remember someone arguing with me saying like, why isn't so, and I'm like, you do realize Fallen Order that you like was written by Clone Wars people. It's just that Survivor was written by,
but they were all D. Bradley Baker pretending to be other
different people.
He's playing that creature. I thought it was the droid. I was like, how is that? Obviously, like my friend asked me that, and then it was he's playing the Nyx, and I'm like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
All he's done is make noises in the gameplay and trailer.
Good job for D, man. He's like, fuck.
Some people would say Howie Mandel playing Gizmo was overkill, but you know what? I disagree.
No, I made a career, and it gave us Bobby.
Yeah, it gave us Bobby's World. Remember when Howie Mandel used to put the glove on his head and blow it up and make it shoot off his head? That was the best.
Yeah.
After that, he should have just quit, though. He should have just quit after that.
Howie Mandel is like the 80s version of Ezra Miller without the Predator thing. Yeah.
But what if we get a Howie Mandel redemption story added Ezra Miller in the end? Think about I'm kidding.
Ezra Mandel? Oh shit.
Ezra Mandel, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get going. We got stuff to do today. As a truth, thank you for
choices to make.
Thank you for hunting me down because I didn't see your DM. Before the show, and then you messaged me during the show, so I saw it. So I'm glad you came on. Whenever game news comes on, or you just want to hang out, you're always welcome. Just hit us up.
You're always welcome here. Yeah, it's your movie that's not welcome here, but you.
I'll probably come back once Cinder's out, so I can share my thoughts on it.
And you are allowed to like those shitty Transformers movies all you want on this show, as far as I'm concerned. Okay.
Yeah, I can like my shitty movies, but I have to take the flack that comes with it. That's how it works. That's how it works.
But I know. I was talking to Matt Risman, and he's like, I liked Transformers more than the Flash, and I said, As a True right now is smiling somewhere. Right now, As a True is smiling. So, anyways, we'll see everybody tomorrow, probably earlier tomorrow, actually, Rob, if that's okay with you. And
early tomorrow,
early show tomorrow, or morning show tomorrow. Okay. Morning show tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we'll just go over whatever the Star Wars news is du jour, and then we'll be back. So I'm thinking probably like 11 a.m. or something like that, my time, Pacific time. And so everybody, thank you for the super chats today, for liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and all that stuff. Also, the show's on Spotify if you want to listen to it as an audio podcast. There's also the video is there too, so you could get it all on Spotify if you prefer that, by the way. But all right, everybody, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.